Okay, so here we are, first YouTube video. Just going to do it in one take, so it's going to be informal chat starting off. So I have lots of YouTube videos up already, but they're more private for clients that I have. So I'm just going to be doing videos once a week out to the public, out to you for free, and it's just going to try and give more value, just give better information, stuff that really helped me, when I was going through chronic pains and issues that I'm going to talk a little bit about now. So yeah, that's the goal, put out a bit of information, give you more value through videos once a week. And yeah, I'll do combinations, I'll do talking about different topics around the body, around mindset, things like that. And yeah, I'll obviously share exercises then too, but I think it's more around the information, more around the perspective, the mindset, understanding the body that's going to help you long term, like it did for me, rather than just exercises. So yeah, I'll do a mix of both. And yeah, for this video starting off, I'm just going to tell a little bit about my story. I think that's the best place to start. For people who come across this page and don't know me, don't know nothing about me, might see my Instagram then, and like I've just updated my handle to guywhodidntsettle, so you might be wondering what that's about too. So I'll just talk about that. Try to keep it brief enough. I know when we're watching things on YouTube and going on too long, you're probably not going to watch. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, I tend to ramble a bit anyway. So we'll say 15 minutes. We'll see how long it goes. But yeah, just going to talk a little bit about my background, my story, how I got into this, and how that approach is going to help you starting off. And it's pretty much, if you're watching my Instagram, it's kind of the mindset and perspective around everything that I'm doing at the moment. So where did I start? Yeah, I suppose, just like obviously I got into it through mobility training starting off. So the quick recap for me was, I was mad into sport growing up. Like I played so much, I played everything. So from when I was younger all the way up to, let's say like 15, I was playing so much sports, like soccer, Gaelic, county Gaelic. Like I was playing bits of hurling, bits of handball, swimming. I was doing like any kid would be, just very, very active, loved it. Then it was around 15. It was somewhere around 15 where I started to kind of get, the different issues and the injuries and stuff were starting to be more, what's the word, prevalent, getting more chronic, I guess you could say. Chronic pain is anything that's over 3 months. So, starting to get those chronic issues, and it went on from 15 to around 25. So that was, if you see my Instagram saying the 10 years of chronic pain and things like that, that's when I would have started around 15. So when I was 15, that's probably at the height of the sport I was playing. Like on some Saturdays, like the busiest I could get would be like Saturday morning playing a soccer match or a Gaelic match, and then like there could be 3 matches in one day. It could be a soccer match, then could be a club Gaelic match and a county Gaelic match. So now that would be kind of extreme, but I do remember I had some days like that we'd be playing 3 matches in one day. Not uncommon for a lot of kids. Lots of kids are going through these type of things where they're playing lots of sport, which they should be, but yeah, unfortunately, doing nothing to look after my body. The information out there obviously wasn't great. So yeah, just ended up having lots of issues from 50 to 25, and they were just getting worse and worse. And yeah, went to lots of different healthcare practitioners over the time. I was going to a chiropractor in Dublin for 8 years. Every like 6 months or whatever it was, I go with my mom. So yeah, won't go into much detail on that. You don't really need to know too much about that. But the basics of it was, played loads and loads of sport, ended up taking a massive toll on my body. And yeah, from 50 to 25, I was looking for the answers, looking for the quick fixes, or whatever. I didn't really know anything about the body. So just looking for the quick fixes, as everyone is. Just wanted to move better, to feel better, to to be able to go on playing sports. So that didn't go very well, and it kind of all came to a head then when I was 25. So at this stage, I'd gone to so many people, so many different approaches, I guess, of trying to get me moving better. So at that stage at 25, then maybe from like 22 to 25, I was taking it more seriously. Like I'd started working then, started earning my own money, and I was just thinking, I'm going to save up this money and I'm going to pay some of the best people, and that's that's what's going to fix me now, that's what's going to sort me out. So that's what I did, but I just ended up getting loads of diagnosis of what was wrong with me, which, it's probably similar for a lot of you out there. Something, not very nice things to hear, not very motivating when you're trying to get out of these. Like, there's things wrong with you, you want to kind of know how you're going to improve and get out of it. So yeah, the 5 different diagnoses I got around the time of those kind of 2 or 3 years, it was all around my hips and my back. Hip and back me a lot of the time. Sometimes after matches, I'd be going home and lying on the couch and resting and things like this, and with knee issues going on for like 8 years. I used to wear the big blue knee band, like neck issues. Those are the main ones: the hip, the back, the knee, and the neck. Just feeling like a bit of a old man, from 15 to 25 as well, which isn't the way it should be. So yeah, getting lots of different diagnoses like hip impingement, hip FAI, one leg longer than the other, loads of kind of combination around different things with the hips. And then the last one that I went to was diagnosed with scoliosis of the spine, and she was saying that's why all these issues are happening basically. And yeah, there's nothing that can be done. If we found this at 13, we could start making some changes, but it's too late now. So yeah, that's kind of where I came to head at 25 then, being told all this type of stuff. And then in that one it was basically, I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time, so I'd stopped playing Gaelic and football and that type of stuff, and I was trying different things I was interested in. So I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time, but I'd given it up 9 months at that stage because of all the injuries, the hip and the back pain, like every session, thinking I was doing irreversible damage to my spine and that type of stuff. So I'd actually given up sport, given up sport nearly a year at that stage, because obviously as it goes on and on, these things get worse and worse, and then you're kind of like, oh crap, I'm not going to curse on YouTube, the bridge that'll be taken out, but yeah, oh crap, I'm starting to take this more seriously now because it's getting pretty bad. I'd given up sport nearly a year at that stage, and yeah, then hearing these type of things, she was basically telling me that, it's time to settle now, your body's enabled for jiu-jitsu, so you shouldn't really be doing that anymore. And yeah, do what, as I say, take up chess at 25, is that what I was meant to do? When you should be in your prime, do you know what I mean? Like, anyone at 25 years old shouldn't be worrying about their body giving up on them like it was for me. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more about that. Probably end up start crying over his YouTube video or something. It's just very frustrating when you think back to those times. Obviously, if you've gone through that type of stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so that's the situation that I was in, and this is where the Instagram, the handle is coming from, because like back then, knew nothing about the body, I wasn't even really that interested in it, or I was only starting to become interested in it because I was having so much issues. And yeah, it was coming out of that consultation that I had, and it was just like as I keep saying, like I only had 2 options there. Was I just going to settle for that? Was I just going to not try anymore? Like I was trying for 10 years. Was I just going to settle? Was I just going to leave it and not go back to sport? Even though that's what I love. Like as you can see now, if you follow me on Instagram, I love being active. I'm working out every day. Doing gymnastics, breakdancing, jiu-jitsu. I love trying all these things. I love being active. But if your body wasn't letting you at the time, I was being told by so many professionals that this stuff isn't for you. Basically, like your body's not able to do it. And surgery and things like that were suggested, which luckily I was always keeping them as very, very, very last resort. So yeah, that was it. Was I going to settle? Was I going to keep looking? And it's taken so much more than just that mindset, obviously, to get to where I am now and doing all the stuff that you can see me doing. But none of that would have mattered if I didn't make the right decision there. So if I did settle, none of it would have mattered. So that's why I'm kind of preaching that stuff a lot of the time, that I just decided then that I wasn't going to settle, and I didn't know what to do. Like I said, I knew nothing about the body. I had no master plan. I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. But yeah, I just knew that I wasn't going to settle for it. This stuff wasn't good enough. It wasn't really adding up in my head that you could be 25, but yeah, like should be in your prime and having to give up stuff that you love to do. So I just went on my own. I was like, the healthcare route has failed me basically. You know what I mean? I couldn't, you know, spend any more time or give any more money after 10 years to be told this sort of stuff. So I just went on my own, and I just started doing a lot of the things that I preach on my page. I knew it wasn't going to be solved overnight, and I decided to play the long game. As I keep saying, I was like, I'm going to just play the long game here. I'm going to just go for the small gains, as I talk about in training and life. I'm just going to learn a bit about the body every day, and I'm going to take it from there. And I'm not going to keep feeling sorry for myself. I'm going to take ownership of this. It's my own body. Ultimately, who has got me here? It's been me. You know what I mean? And look, I could do so many videos about how sports and things need to change growing up, and how we need to be integrating joint health, mobility, and stuff like this. Into sports early on, so kids won't end up in these type of positions. They're different videos. So yeah, it's me who's got me there. No one put a gun to my head and made me play all these sports, and you know what I mean. So yeah, it was just taking the ownership at the time. Ultimately, this is my fault, and I need to get myself out of it. No point whinging, no point complaining, giving out about healthcare professionals, this and that. It's my own body. It's my fault that I never looked after it. So this is the mindset I was starting to get into now, rather than just feeling sorry for myself and all that type of stuff. And this is where a lot of the stuff about Jocko comes in. About the ownership. If you take ownership, then you have control of situations. When you have control of situations, then you can change it. And then when you start to change things, your life is going to change then, like it did for me in terms of my body. But once you start blaming everyone else, you're giving the control to them. You're giving the control to these. So that's why once you take it on yourself, that's going to be the start of change for you. So that's what the name is all about. Guy Who Didn't Settle. I didn't settle. This is where everything is stemmed from. Like I said, if I settle down, you'll be watching this video. So yeah, just start learning bits about the body every day, 10, 15 minutes, then 30 minutes. Like now I study 2 hours on the body every day. And the situation I'm telling you about there with that last consultation is probably 3 years ago. So, not a massive amount of time, but again, if you're playing the long game, going for the small gains, I've studied thousands of hours on the body since then, done up near 10,000 on my education in terms of courses, and again, not general education course. I'm following the results now. Like I tell people, I'm just looking for best people in the industry, paid them, got them to mentor me, things like that. I'm following the results anymore, because following the general route to getting moving, feeling better, I tried that for 10 years. Now I'm doing this stuff 3 years. You know what I mean? If you look at my page, which one do you think has worked better for me? So that's why I'm always telling people to cut through the curse word, won't say it, cut through the fake stuff, just follow the results as I did. It's going to be the quickest route to success. So yeah, without going off on too many tangents, I didn't settle. That was the main point of it. That was the catalyst for change, because when you decide to not settle, what you're really deciding is, I'm going to try and make progress no matter what. It's the same thing. Like the opposite of not settling is progress. So maybe I could have been guy who went for progress, whatever. It's the same thing. Guy who didn't settle, guy who keeps going for small progress. It's all means the same thing. So that was it. Took on the mindset of, I'm not going to settle for this, and I'm just going to play the long game. I'm going to go for the small gains. I'm going to learn all this stuff myself and take ownership, and that's what's going to get me out of it. And that's what did. So that's what this is all hinging off, is the not settling. Not to say it was an easy route from there. There's so much more that goes into it. Like I said, the years and years of learning, working on the 9 to 5 and other things, getting up early in the morning, studying for an hour or two, working on my body as well, kind of full time putting in the mobility work on it, and all this stuff has added up over time and got me to where I am now. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. If you didn't know me before, now you know a bit about my sob story. And look, there's, in perspective of the whole world of things that are happening, is that a big deal? No, it's not really, but everyone has their own personal story. Some people will be a lot better than that, will only have some small injuries, some people will be a lot worse, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's all the same stuff applies, and the same approaches apply. You're going to settle for it or not, and what are you going to do from there? So yeah, even though, like, as I said, the main injuries were just 10 years of chronic pain, back pain, knee pain, hip pain, all these kind of diagnoses. You could be better than that. Yours could have been worse than that. It doesn't matter. Same approach still applies. So yeah, that's the main thing that I want to give you. And I suppose looking back then over the 3 years, the main things that did help me are the stuff that I'm kind of sharing every day now. When I'm talking about the body and you're watching me training and you're watching me juggling, is that from getting out of that hole in my body to moving better, to feeling better over kind of, maybe that was a year to a bit over a year, and I was moving and feeling so much better because I put in so much time on it. Like, we're talking hard mobility training over an hour 3 times a week, so it's probably up near 5 hours a week, for 52 weeks, whatever, it's over 250, probably 300 hours, training on my body, hard training, not just sitting there in stretches. So, like, the change is inevitable for people, is what I'm trying to tell you, that if you're committed to not settling, if you're committed to going for progress, if you're training smart, change is inevitable. So again, that's another thing, that if you take on the mindset of not settling, progress is inevitable. Like, there's no other way around it. If you don't settle, if you keep going forward, if you're training smart, if you're going for small gains, it's inevitable. It's not my opinion. Like, this, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This stuff is not my opinion. From learning about the body, how we're the most adaptable species on the planet and on top of the food chain, and how amazing the body is, from learning it, adaptation is inevitable every day anyway. Like, we adapt to our environment. If you sit in a chair for 8 hours a day, you're adapting to those positions. So adaptation happens anyway. So just the way you adapted negatively to sport, not looking after your body, all that type of stuff, you can adapt positively. You know what I mean? Like, for people, that I work with lots of clients now, but like, for people who tell me, oh, I could never change, I've always been tight and stiff. It's like, no, you haven't. Were you full blown yourself as a child? You know what I mean? Were people stretching? Were you going to the chiropractor when you were 5 years old? No. Like, when we were children, 99.9% of us were all moving amazingly with no restrictions. We're all doing great. And if you were to say that we can't actually change, like, oh, I can never change, you're already contradicting yourself. It's already false, because if you couldn't change, you'd still be moving like a ballerina like you were as a kid. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you start off as a kid moving great, then throughout your life, oh, moving crap, big issues here, you've already changed. You've already adapted and changed, but you just don't realize it. So the same as we've gone from moving really well to moving really poorly, loads of issues, we can go back to moving really well. Just, that's literally what I've gone through. That exact thing I'm telling you there. So that's what it's all about. Not settling, going for progress, and then with this mindset, progress is inevitable, but it's just going to be slow. So they're the main things I've come across from the mobility. After that full year, it was starting to click with me. I was like, first of all, if I just start playing the long game, not looking for the quick fixes, if I start checking the ego, not letting that block my progress, that's another video I could do it on, because the ego gets in the way for a lot of things, even for a lot of people I'm working with on strength training programs. So playing the long game, checking the ego, training smart and training hard, because if you're just training hard and not training smart, you can forget about it. I've done that for years and years as well. So playing the long game, checking the ego, training hard like I was, but training smart, and just going for the small gains, not expecting change to happen overnight. I didn't get these issues overnight, it's not going to change overnight. So just by following those type of things and that approach it's what got me out of it, you know what I mean? And then anyone can do it. This is what I'm saying, like, and this is why I get so frustrated when I talk about all those diagnoses, is that some of those people I went to would have been, studying and working with people for like 30 years, even 40 years, 40 years, and they couldn't give me some better solutions or information on my body. Whereas if you look at me now and the transformation I've had over 3 years and how I can help clients now, again, I'm not against any professional. Some people tell me, you've taught me more in a session than any physio I've gone before, or any ex-practitioner I've gone before. And I'm just thinking, I'm only learning this, like, about the body for 3 years. How can I know more about the body and how to help someone than somebody who's been studying this stuff? Well, not the same stuff, obviously, but someone who's been working in that profession for 30 or 40 years. Just think about that, because I'm nothing special whatsoever. Just think about that. Someone who's, studying the body, healthcare practitioner for 30 or 40 years, and now for me, just by following that approach and learning about the body, following the results, that I can help people better than they can, help myself so much better than they can in the space of 3 years. You know, that's the stuff that annoys me. It's not like, I know good and bad people in every profession. That's the way it is. I'm not against any profession at all. You know, some of the smartest people I follow are chiropractors. It's just about your approach. So that's actually what annoys me. It's not about any profession. It's just that we can be getting so much better results. That's all it is. That the profession isn't good enough in a way for how we're treating the body. And that's what got me into it. Like I have a business degree, and I was working in recruitment. Working on Facebook and other jobs, but then it was only to learn all about this that I felt I had a responsibility to start sharing this information, like just kind of helping friends and people on the side and things like that. And then all I'd hear all the time is, I see you're doing stuff with your body, you're into the movement, whatever, and I'm foam rolling this, or I'm doing that stretch, and then it's not working, and I just kind of like, I felt like I had some secrets that I had to share basically, and that's what led me here. And if you told me I'd be talking on YouTube about the body and stuff like this, if you told me this 4 years ago, I'd be like, first of all, I'm actually a very introverted person for people that would know me. Don't really like sharing stuff publicly, but obviously from the stuff I've gone through, so it's given me purpose, and I really love sharing this stuff, and I want to empower and educate people about the body to not go through the kind of stuff that I've gone through, or to get out of it like I've helped loads of clients do, which is what I love. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Look, I just want everyone to get the same progress that I did. I just want everyone to know the stuff that I know, so that their body's never going to hold them back again. And again, it all starts with the not settling. So look, I'll be more structured on my next videos, because this is going all over the place. But those are the main things. Like I said, when I did the year of mobility, playing the long game, checking the ego, training hard, training smart, and going for the small gains. Once I realised that worked on mobility and got me where it did, then I was like, this approach is going to make me improve in anything. Then I was moving really well, but I was still really weak. I was always kind of the skinny weak one in my mind. I was never really doing anything amazingly strength wise. Never got more than 6 pull-ups in the gym. I was always trying to lift the boys in college and end up getting injured and things like that, because I wouldn't be as strong as them. But I just applied this same approach to strength training, plus following the results, getting the mentors, and now this year I'm working towards 1 arm chin up, handstand push up. I've got over like 1.4 bodyweight ass to grass squat, or 100 kg front squat, and these type of things. Again, in a very short space of time, but it's just because I'm applying the same approach that I did for mobility to the strength training. I'm applying this to skills as well. As you see me juggling, I'm juggling 4 balls now. I'm going to be aiming for 6 this year, and I only started juggling maybe 6 months ago at this stage. But again, it's all the approach. People will look at this stuff as I did before and think, oh, he's a freak or this and that. It's like, take these people down off pedestals. There are no freaks. It's just people that are following smart strategies like the ones that I'm telling you. There's no freaks, just people that aren't settling and working towards progress every day, that you just don't see it in the background. Just like an iceberg, you see the tip of the iceberg, you don't see everything underneath the water, what's going around it, and then we just put them on pedestals and think that we can never do that stuff, which is not the case at all. So yeah, apply that strength training, applying the same approach to skills, applying it to my life in other areas, finance, different things, and everything's improving. So that's why I'm trying to share these approaches with you, on Instagram if you're following me a lot of the time. That's the stuff I talk about, and people are connecting with it, people are getting results from it. Even if you're not one of my clients, which obviously that's the quickest way to get results, but yeah, just connecting with different people, and they're really adapting the mindset as well and seeing results. So look, that's what it's all about. As cringy as it sounds, we're all in this together. Like, I could have just got the results for myself and went on about my life and just keep myself moving better and all that stuff. But like, that's not what I'm going to get. That's not what's going to make me happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, sharing this with other people is what's making me happy. And seeing other people go through these type of transformations is what it's all about for me. So that's what I want. I just want to share it. I want everyone to be getting the type of results that I did. And yeah, it's going to be through following those strategies mainly. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there for that. And yeah, I'll do a video once a week. That's my sob story and all that stuff over now, so we can move on. Hopefully you know a bit more about me. Feel free to reach out. We can chat on Instagram or whatever if you want to ask any other questions on it. But yeah, I'll just do videos on different topics. Some exercise videos, like I said, and I'll leave this up to you as well. I'll throw up Q&A on Instagram. I've 1 or 2 video suggestions already. And yeah, so I'll probably just do Q&A ones then actually. So do a Q&A one, answer all the questions that are coming in, and then obviously I have a lot of other ideas around the videos and things that if I give the knowledge to you and you know them, it's going to empower you, it's going to educate you around the body, and it's really going to improve. If it's getting out of chronic pains or all the way up to performance as well. So yeah, we'll leave it there for that. Sorry about all the rambling. We'll get a bit more structured as we go on. So yeah, I hope everybody is staying safe during COVID, and yeah, we'll leave it there.